Hey, I'm in. Woo.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Good morning.
Oh yeah.
Good morning.
You all survived the storms? Huh? Derek, it looked like you were in the office, like the show, because the camera was out and it like zoomed in on you, like it was a office close-up.
Can everybody hear me? Let's
I
see.
can.
Okay, there we go.
I can
Yep,
also
we can
hear
hear
you.
you.
You're not hearing a echo or anything, are you, when you talk? Nope. Okay. Let's see if anybody's having issues. Oh, give it a few more just to make sure everybody gets in. Okay. Okay. Well, while we get ready to get started, does anybody have any questions about React router so far? Okay. Give it about 2 more minutes and we'll just go ahead and get started. Okay. Did anybody want to? Can everybody hear me all right? First and foremost, we're all good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, perfect. Cool. Okay. So first and foremost, would anybody like to demo their Pokemon application, what they had or anything they how they set it up before I go through what I got for us?
I did not get to the homework. As far as I got was pretty much just going through your video from last class,
Okay.
and that's where I stopped. I didn't have more time to go
Go
all up
through
with the homework. Yeah,
okay.
it's hard missing one class.
It can set you back a little bit. Yes. So, but did you
I did make my Pokemon Chinese.
okay, cool. And then were you able to get access to the Pokemon app GitHub?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Okay. So that's where I have all the code for this application, including up to this point as well. It may be slightly behind, but this one is so I have it set up and we're just gonna go through it. Um, and if you watched last class, then um, last class we left off. Sorry, I'm already starting to lose my voice. But last class we left off, I want to say we left off. We were getting ready to set up the the page numbers and the setting up the dynamic offset to be able to um properly paginate our Pokemon. So being able to select the page and then navigate into the correct index as well as showing the correct amount. So that was uh, the goal for the homework as well, is to get that completed. So we can go through and show you what I ended up coming up with. Um, Depending on what route you took, I would say there's no necessarily perfect way to go about it, but depending on what route you took, it could have been a complicated assignment for you. So just to demonstrate real quick, we go to page 10, then it brings up the Pokemon. As you can tell, I wasn't worried about making it look too pretty. We were just worried about functionality for now. And then we want to do items per page. So we pull up and we get 50 Pokemon at a time. And then, oh, we got no images on this one. So that was an issue that you probably would have ran into working on it because they have quote unquote default images, but it's not the same for every Pokemon. So you have to go through and pull some of the images dynamically based on the Pokemon. So let's see, could I just uh, okay, it should have been pulling those Pokemon because I know I just pulled that, and there were some Pokemon that it didn't pull. Maybe. Okay, we'll get to that as well. But I know I just tested it and it was pulling those Pokemon. So somehow, some way, I broke something. But as you can see, depending on the items per page that we have, it also changes the page number. So we changed it to 100. And then we have 14 pages with the so, and then another, well, let's see if we click on it. So it's bringing up the images here, but not on the main page for whatever. So, and then you're supposed to also have the dynamic route to where if you would click on it, it'll take you to that Pokemon, show the name, the ID. I believe I asked for a description, optionally if you want to add that. That was a little complicated to find just the way the Pokemon API is set up. So before we get into the code behind this, we have any questions about that so far about what you've seen? Or any questions about the homework in general? No. Okay. So we have our PokeCards component, which is what we're rendering to our main application. So if we were to go into our PokeCards file, you can see, oh, we don't need that. You can see, based off where we left off last time, it's a little bit more full, I guess you could say. So,
Derek, do you mind zooming in a little bit?
oh, you're right. Yes. Thank you. Can we see that all? Can we see that good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay. Okay. So we'll start with one of the things I talked about was do we have it on there? Okay, yes. So for the setting up the pages, the page number, I actually need to change the number of this. Let's see. We can to make it more clear. Okay. So we have I'll just call it drop down options for now. So we have our here we are returning 2 divs for our drop down items, and a cool little method that I use to create the page numbers is the array.from. So this method basically a function on arrays that allows you to pass uh a number to it, right? And then you can normally here you can just pass a number, but this is for clarity so that you have more of an understanding of um what you're going for, which we're trying to create a certain length for our array, right? It doesn't need to, it's basically just going to be an array of like undefined items, and we're using that so that we can have something to map through. So the array.from method allows you to declare, that number for how the length of the array that you want, and then it also lets you run a map function. So it has a built-in map function to map through each of those items and return, values based on each item. So that way it's basically like a map function where you just determine the length of the array of undefined items, and if you don't need each item to have a value, or if a certain value or anything like that. So which for our number of pages, we have our page number. We're calculating the um, page number based on the index of the item. So it's going to be, remember, for mapping, you declare the name of the each individual item. You declare a name for a variable, and then the second parameter is gonna be the index. So we have our index plus 1 that creates our page number, and then for each one, I was just console logging the page number and the index, just to, at the time, this was to make sure that I had the proper understanding of how this function worked, to make sure. So I like to, because sometimes I get a little confused because there's so many methods that you have to choose from. So sometimes you gotta check yourself. So that was unnecessary. So we can get rid of that. So then what we're returning. So we have our select element, and that's going to create our little drop down menu. And then in that select element, we want an option. So this is going to create our option. So we're mapping through our array that we are creating based on the number that we pass through to create an option for each one. So we're giving it that key because it is a map function. So we want to make sure we have that key. And then we're giving it the value and then the corresponding page number. And then for the limit per page, yes, we are. I guess before we do that, where is it? We have a. Let me fix this before I get ahead of myself, since it's Kyle. So with this, you want to remember we have a select. Since it's a select, we're gonna have an on change. So anytime we select an item from our drop down menu, we want to make sure that we update the current value. So we were setting the current page to the target value, which is whichever item that we click on. It's going to set our actual current page use state to that value, and then it's going to see we have our value set to the current page. It's going to update that value as well. That's important because sometimes you might, if you forget the value to include the value, you might have your on change, and you might click on something and then it might update in the background, but what's rendered might not update, so it could cause some confusion. And then we'll do it similar to our page number. We use the select, and then we're setting the limit to, and then also we're setting the current page. Every time that we change our limit, it sets the current page to 1. I just did that right now. And then one thing, remember we're using Daisy UI. So another thing is that it has its own select styling that you can apply. So we have the select bordered, which gives it that bordered look. So you see it has that slight border, and it has better styling. So let me show you what it looks like without the select. For comparison, using our Daisy UI. So this is what it looks like without the Daisy UI styling. Doesn't look bad, but looks more. It looks a little bit better with the Daisy UI. And I didn't get too crazy with the styling. Like I said, we were worried about the functionality as what at this time. So now, I'm not sure if we had a chance to review our dynamic routing for our Pokemon. So as you can see, when we click on the Pokemon, it's going to take us to the page, that Pokemon page with the Pokemon name and its ID, and then also an image. And as you can see here with the dynamic route, it's taking you to the Pokemon, and it is using that same Pokemon ID. So the Pokemon ID here is what we're passing to tell our what our page to render. So if we were to change it to, then you see that it's gonna render that Pokemon. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. Okay. So I guess let's start with the routes. So for React Router, we're pulling our normal route, and we're giving it a path of the Pokemon. Is what you're seeing there at that Pokemon, and then the colon Poke ID. So that's just telling React Router that this is a parameter, and what follows out to here is going to be declared as that Poke ID, basically like declaring it as a variable. And then same the element, we're going to pull the Pokemon, so it's going to render that Pokemon element. We go to Pokemon, and then for React Router, we're going to be doing the use params. So what the use params is it's taking the parameters after the uh for instance like the Pokemon. So the parameters in your route is going to take those parameters, and then it's going to allow you to be able to use those parameters based on the value that was passed into the address, right? So we have that Poke ID, and here you see we're using it, we're destructuring, we're using the destructuring method. We have the Poke ID equals use params. So if we were to have another parameter that would say like Poke type, or like images along with that, then all you'd have to do is use this destructor method, and then just type out all the parameters that you have that you would need, and it would just match the parameters automatically. And then so here we're fetching based on the Poke ID. Okay. Yep. And then here we're setting the Pokemon data. So every time when we pull that Pokemon, we want to store it in the Pokemon data, so that way we can easily reference the Pokemon. And then every time the Poke ID changes, it's going to fetch that run the fetch Pokemon code. So we're going to go fetch it and then update the Pokemon data. So as you can see that we're destructuring information from the Pokemon data. You probably noticed that we destructure a lot because it's useful, it's helpful. Instead of having to drill down into the Pokemon data and declare 3 variables, we can declare one destructure variable and get all the same result. So we're going into our Pokemon data, grabbing the items with the key names, and then we are rendering our Pokemon image based on if it's available in our Pokemon data. So you'll see if you remember drilling down into a object, we got the sprites dot other. The question mark essentially is what's the technical term for it? I don't Do you remember the technical term for it, Brian? I don't.
Optional training.
Yeah, optional training. That's what it is. Uh, So yeah, that's good for um if a it's checking to see if it's gonna be able to, what's the word? If it's checking to see if it has that um I can't even think of the word today. Words are so hard today. But
It's
the
the
that
null checks, right?
yeah, the null check. That's what it is. So it's checking to see if there's a value on there, checking to see if it's null. Um, and then you can see here if we don't get a value on here, it's going to, so this is the OR operand. So it's going to check. So it's going to either use this one or this. And then if we don't have it on this, we have it on the other one. So I also have another component that we could use to replace this one that we'll go over in a little bit. So then this is what we've seen. We have our name, the Pokemon name, the ID, and then the image, which is what we're pulling dynamically. Mm, 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 mm. Any questions so far?
So to add the description, you would add after sprites, you would do comma description, that's how it's called, the API, and then add like another paragraph down the bottom.
So essentially, yes. So the Pokemon API is a little confusing. It doesn't explicitly call it the description. I want to say I forget what it is. But I know it but yeah, essentially you will pull that in, you could put in a just another P element, um a paragraph element, and just render it that way. But let me see. Because I know that yeah, it's a little weird. No, if I can't find it right now, we'll just get into it later. But I know, oh, it's in the, where's it at? Sprites. Nope. Yeah, I'll find it here shortly. But yeah, it's in a very weird spot. Um, and I forgot the name. I just had it, and then I forgot the name of that key. But we'll get there here shortly. Because it'll be something that you'll be able to add on today as well. So and then so back to our Poke cards. Oh, did we have any other questions? Sorry. Nope. Okay. So let's see. Okay, now it's working. So as you can tell, these images look a little bit different than the ones up here. So after a certain point, the default images, these high quality images aren't available for all the Pokemon. So what we had to do for that is we had to create a Pokemon image component that checked if that was available for us. If we had that image available, and then we created a fallback for if it wasn't available. So I can explain to you the reason why we couldn't do it here is where is it at? The Poke cards, yeah. Oh, yep, that's what. Okay, so as you can see, I tried to. I created a little example. And I left it in here. So I tried to dynamically render the images here, which React is not a fan of, and it doesn't. Even though we have an error handler, it doesn't handle. If it updates, it's not going to update on the what's been rendered already, essentially. So we had to create a Pokemon image that we could check for. We create checks for and handle it dynamically. So we're on our image stack, we have a convenient error handler. So on error, we ran a function. So it's right here. So we ran a function, and then it's going to check if it well, I guess I should go through the use states first. Let me go through the use states first. So we have our current image, which we're going to default to our Dream World sprite here, which is the link to the static link, or not static link, it's dynamic based on Pokemon ID. But we hard coded most outside of Pokemon ID, we hard coded the address. And then if it doesn't have the Dream World sprite, we're going to go to the default sprite, and then it's dynamic based on a Poke ID as well. So we're setting our current image to the Dream World sprite automatically, and then we just have the has tried use state, and then the all images failed use state, just as part of our error handling. So that way, if we want to be more thorough with it, we can return specific error messages to let the client know that loading the image failed. So if it has tried, it's gonna handle the image error. So if it has tried Dream World, it's gonna set the current image to default sprite, and then it's gonna set, or hasn't. I said has. If it hasn't tried Dream World sprite, it's gonna so if this is false, if has Dream World is false, it's gonna set the current image to default sprite and then set it to true. And then if it has, and it's not all images failed yet, then it's going to set all images to failed, and then current image to null. And then here, if you want it, you could return certain values to propagate certain errors, or just to let the client know that the loading the image has failed. And then in this instance, if all images fail, we're going to return no image. And then also we're just going to return the image itself based on the current image, whatever current image set. Pokemon name is going to be the all. And then, as I said, on error, we're going to handle that error. So it's good because when with the image, if it doesn't return, if it go, like, if you give it a source and it goes to that link and it returns if there's nothing there, it's going to return a 404 not found. So that's how it knows that it's errored out, because it's getting that basically that API error, and then that call error, and then it's going to handle it based on that. Any questions about that so far? Okay. So now back to our Poke card. So that's how we are dynamically generating our images for our Pokemon. Let's see. Yes. And then, as I said, on the the page that we generate, we could replace the image with the Pokey image component as well. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything? Oh, so real quick, I can go through how we set our Poke limit options. Which is the limit, the drop down limit that we get. So this is the limit per page. That's how we see it. So as you can see, we have 10, 25, 50, 100, and then this last one is going to be essentially all. I just put the number. We can just put all, convert that to all. So here we have the Poke limit options, and we put the values that we want, which is the 10, 25, 50, 100. So as you can see that count isn't included in this array right now because we can't handle it dynamically within the array. So what we do is if we check for the Poke count, if it's greater than 100, then we are going to get our Poke limit options array, and then we're going to push our Poke count to that array. And it's as simple as that. So that way, if it updates, it's going to run this check. And then if it's greater than 100, it's going to push that value to our Poke limit options. Real simple. And then we'll have our limit use state. Okay. So where do we have it at? Oh, this was for when I was trying to, for my example, when I was trying to handle the images dynamically. So like I said, I was just showing that I think I don't have it set up to run. But yeah, so here I was showing that you can't. I even tried to do a tertiary. I always use the wrong word. But to dynamically create the image, so you can see it's similar to the Pokemon image code that we have. If it's not aired out, then we want to use this link, which is the same link as our dream sprite. And then if it is aired out, then we want to use our PNG. However, that didn't work because React doesn't like that. Any questions so far? Okay. Any questions about React Router or anything like that? React Router, just React in general, or any problems you had with any of the homework? Okay. Let's see. So like I was saying, I do have for those of you who need it, I do have this code in the GitHub. Let me update it so that it doesn't have this unnecessary code in it, so we are not confused. Oh, the Poke ID. That's important. Okay. So, let's see. So for the Poke ID, I don't know if any of you noticed, you would notice that once you get to a certain point, or 100, um, let's see, 10. So once you get to a certain point, okay, let's see. Thousand. Do next page. Okay. So this is Pokemon ID 1025. And then the very next Pokemon is at 10,001, basically. So there would be a point where once you reach Pokemon ID 1025, after that, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why. I think it has something to do with the way that the Pokemon IDs are set up in the games or something like that. Um, the basically what it does is um it starts off, you can consider it like at 1. So because the next one's gonna be 10,002 or 10, not 10, 10,002. So it just basically starts incrementing from there. And we could have created a formula to try and um uh recreate that after it reached, a certain point. However, that would be complicated and it's error prone. So what I did here is we know um that a address is separated by forward slashes. So we could use our split method. So we got our Pokemon URL and we split it by our forward slashes. So what it's going to do, if you remember, it's a split is going to it's going to use the value that you pass this value to split um a string into an array. So here we're using this as our, what's the term? I forget the term the split uses, but we're going to use this as an identifier basically to tell it to split it at this point, and then so it's going to find this, and then it's going to um take the value from this forward slash to the next forward slash, and then it's going to create it's going to push it to an array essentially. So let's see. I can drop down. Okay. Uh, what did I do? Where are we at? Oh, that's because we are Oh yeah. It's a lot. So if you remember for the Pokemon API, what the noise? Oh, it's not gonna code. Okay, we'll do it. Pull it up right here. Okay, so if you remember, the only values it brings when we are for our results when we're calling for just a general Pokemon list is the name and the URL. So what our split is doing is we're going in to our results and we're taking the URL and we're breaking the URL up here at the forward slashes. So it's gonna evaluate this forward slash and then it's gonna take the value from here up until the next forward slash, or just the whole value if there was no other forward slash. So, and then it's going to take this value and then it's going to push it to an array. And then it's going to go to the next slash and then evaluate the value after up until the next forward slash. And then it's going to push it as the next item in that same array. And it's going to keep going doing that until it goes through the entire string and creates an array of items. So what we're doing is we got the array and it's going, and so it also includes, even if there is no immediate value after the forward slash, is just going to have basically an empty string as the array. So let's see, right here, as you can see, it has this empty string as an array. And then we're accessing it. We're getting the array length, and which is 8, and then -2, which is that, which is going to equal the index of 6, which is our ID number. It's a little, one of the considerations when you're doing something like this, if they were to update the API and change how the parameters are set up, and they might add something in between and you'd have to change your formula for accessing that ID, which is a lot better in this situation, is a lot better than trying to dynamically create that ID and guess and create a formula based on its location and the returned results. So that's how we're doing that. And then we are setting it as our Poke ID. And then we are creating our here it goes. Our Poke link URL equals Pokemon /Pokemon Poke ID. And then another thing to consider when you are routing is if you anywhere, so we have a link. This is React Router's link, yeah, from React Router. So they have their own link tag, which uses this is where you put your URL. So anytime you have just the URL, like anything that's like a source or asking for a URL, and you just put the / and then just path with no host name, it's automatically going to use your project's domain name, which in this case is our local host. So it's going to take our local host port 5173 and it's just gonna append that value to it, and then that's how it's gonna route to it. So that is something to keep in mind. Any questions so far? Okay. Oh no. Great. So let me get the link just in case we don't have it. Okay, so I've in the Slack I posted the link to the repo for this code that I have. So what we are going to do, which is I guess if there was any day to have a virtual class, this would be a good one. Because for the remainder of the class, we are just going to be working on our Poke application. So let's go. And then, so with this one, yeah, I gave you our starting point. And then make sure if you are pulling, if you already did the homework and you have your own version, then you can work off your own version. This is just to help if you didn't have the chance to go through and complete this on in your own time. And then we are going to focus. You can focus on making it look pretty. And then I want to give you some room to make it your own, get a little creative with it. So style it using in Daisy UI and Tailwind CSS. And then there was, where did I write it down at? Because I had one more thing that I wanted us to do. We got the page, item per page. I will find the description. And then, oh yeah, also Poke. What was it? The of PokeStats. PokeStats.gg. So this is what we were kind of basing our application on. So you can still use this as a reference, the PokeStats.gg. I'll put it in the chat again in the Slack. And then as you can tell here, so I did the dynamic images just to be complicated, of course, but here they use the default image for all the Pokemon. That is also an option, so don't feel like you have to be extra like me. I just did that just to add some different functionality into it. Okay, and then so you can go through if you want and set your page. You don't have to be this thorough. Review the API. You can review the API, take um some items from the API that you want to include, and then you can add it to your own application. Let's see. So we got the route. And then I'll give you some time to work on that. And then I'll have something to show for us once we come back for break. And then I'll be here to help. Well, we'll be here to help with any issues or questions that you come up with at the time. Any questions about that or about React or anything so far? Does everybody understand the assignment, what we're doing today? Okay.
So, tons and tons of awesome nuggets in there, that probably were not understood the first time around. So definitely reach out. We can't see your faces, so we don't know if your brows are furrowed or if you're crying or whatever. So yeah, on Slack, or probably keep it in Slack. The chat in here is weird. So yeah, you got a question, throw it out in Slack. Probably other people have the same question or similar. So yeah, definitely throw it out there, and we'll keep chugging along.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Of course. Okay, it's been a little bit. Anybody having any issues, stuck on anything? Need help with anything in general?
I'm still updating my code, like matches yours, just going line by line and seeing what's different. Still working on it.
Okay, gotcha. And then to make it easier for you, you might see if there's a VS Code extension that could help you see the difference between uh code, because that might help you as well.
I'll, I'll search for it.
Okay, so I finally got my code working. From here, we're just trying to style it and make it look close to like the PokeStats website, or just kind of do our own take on it.
Yeah, you can use so you can use the PokeStats as inspiration.
Okay.
If you want to do the PokeStats, you could do that. But I would prefer if you just did your own little take on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Anybody have any questions so far? Or stuck on anything? Need help with anything? Nope. Okay. Well, in that case, this would be a good time to go ahead and take a quick little break. So I think being back at 12:25 will be a good time for us. Okay. It's 12:27. Everybody have a decent little break. Okay. Did we got everybody back?
Yep, I'm back.
Sounds good. Okay. Okay. Anybody have any questions about what we're working on so far? Any issues or anything like that? Okay. Okay.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. Okay. So real quick, uh kind of wanted to give everybody an idea of what we are um what we're going to be doing. Just a little, what's the word, I guess preview, but just to make you aware of what we are going to be doing. So throughout the OK Coders Bootcamp, we've created a few different projects and showcasing, things as we went along and learned. So, one of the ways that you can help get yourself out there in the market. I know we've been supposed to have like the resume talk and we talk about networking, but another good thing to have is a portfolio. So, especially if you are new and you don't have any job history, but this is something you're wanting to do, or if you just wanting to maintain a portfolio, but that is a good thing to have. I personally do not have a portfolio. I have a basic one that I never published, um, and I would need to find it. However, um, and then I also got um really lucky in the path that I took. So I never really just sat down and created a portfolio to showcase my work, which I still need to do and I should do. Um, but where's the button that I'm looking for? This one. I'll share my screen so we can look at some portfolios. Because so um just so you aware, like so I just wanted to show you a portfolio real quick because we are for the next module, I want to get you started on building your portfolio because one of the biggest things, problems that people have with their portfolios, they don't know where to start or they don't know what to include uh, in their portfolio. So that's going to be one of the projects that we work on in the next um, module because that's when we're going to be learning our Next.js, and we'll be able to put everything together so you can showcase your skills. But it's also good to showcase all your projects, especially especially the ones where you built up your skill set, and also important for the ones when you were learning as you come along, because it'll give you and whoever's looking at your portfolio an idea of your progression and how you learn and all that good stuff, and they get to see your progress, so that gives them a good idea as well as how your potential to develop as well in the future. So I just pulled up some basic ones from Hostinger. They have a list of portfolios, and then they also have some tips on making your portfolio as well. But as you see nowadays, more people are leaning towards a modern, simplistic design when it comes to things. So you don't have your portfolio doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be super intuitive. You got to remember that your portfolio is basically telling who you are, what you bring to the table, and then what projects that you've worked on, and to showcase your skill set, right? So this is a basic one, as you can see, nothing too crazy, and then just a simple collection of the works. Um, Depends. You might, if you have a live website, you have a link that'll take it to the live website, or you might have it just be an image and then a small description. And typically, they'll have like you might have the GitHub repo if it's a public facing. If not, just a link or some screenshots usually does the trick. And then that's one. So we'll go through, and then this is another one. Matt Farley. So a lot of these portfolios, you if you were to go like look at portfolio tutorial videos, you might see some of these portfolios and some videos. A lot of people reference this list, and then these are just some really good examples on uh good portfolio design. Like I said, simple, and then you just want to showcase basically yourself, who you are, and your skill set. So this portfolio it's giving you, you can tell it's designed based off a what's the word? This is what you would see with a subscription based service. You see a lot of this kind of like a hero section. Um yeah, hero section, and then they have, just a small description of who they are. See, it's simple, straight to the point. You don't have to feel like you have to be super crazy with it. And then they are using kind of like product cards almost, uh, to showcase their skill set, all the different things they do, their experience, tools that they use, and all that good stuff. And then, of course, their recent work. So, like I said, you can have it set up to where it takes you to a website, your GitHub, however you prefer, even just screenshots with some description. And here's another one. This one's a little bit more, what's the word? Showcasey. Um, Granted, this is just like a little snap feature that's simple to implement. So this is something that you could easily learn. But like I said, it's all still simple, not super crazy. Um, and this is somebody who, this is a front end developer, so they have more of they built their portfolios built to showcase their front end development skills. So being able to show the things they can do on the front end as these snapping features, um, and all that stuff. So this is just an idea, give you an idea of how you want to build your portfolio to showcase your skills, even in the portfolio itself. So you want to do some things in the portfolio that um you would want people to take notice, because sometimes they might just go to your portfolio, see what your portfolio is, and then they may never even go and evaluate your projects or anything like that. Um, so these are some things just to keep in mind. And then this is a more complicated one. As you can see, it has um, a feature tracking the mouse, following the mouse, right? So that's going to have some JavaScript involved, and then some, let's see what their expertise is. Some also some front end work, focus as well. They have their 3D images, right? So they are, what is it? A software developer, front end dev. See, they use React, Next.js. Um, and like I said, this is just to give you an idea of of what you can expect to do with the portfolio. Um, Yours doesn't have to be super crazy, like I said. Some of the best ones are the most simple ones. Uh, because like I said, like this is one that most people, like something like this, most people would highly praise because it's simple, straight to the point, and it gets the job done. And that's what a lot of people are looking for. These are, when you see portfolios like this, these people with especially skill set that they're showcasing when for a very niche type of client, right? So, but and then this is a cool one. Somebody made their like own little Windows operating system uh inside the browser as their portfolio, so you can go through, navigate. So this is pretty cool. And then I am not sure. I just pulled this all up, so I don't know what this was built with, but you know, just to show you like pretty cool things you can do with web development and all that fun stuff. And that is something that you could definitely build with React and Next as well. Um, so that is something that we are going to start with our next module. But I just wanted to give you what's the word? An idea of. I want to give you a sense that like all these projects that we have been doing, not only have they been good to help you learn, but they can also be good, to keep track of. You can build upon them. You can even present them as they are just to showcase your progression until you get more projects under your belt, either that you decide to take up on your own or that you have been commissioned for and all that good stuff. So not something you have to worry about right now, but we're gonna, like I said, in the next module, that's something we're definitely gonna be working on to get started, right? So that we get you started in the right direction with that. Any question about that portfolios in general?
Those look cool. I hope you drop them on the Slack so I can play around with them later.
I will. I'm gonna drop the. In fact, let me do that before I forget now. Oh, where was I at? Oh, Hostinger. Let me pull it up for you. Hostinger. Hostinger. Before I forget. Okay. And then any questions about what we're working on so far? Does anybody need help with anything? Because if not, then we'll just continue working on our Pokemon app. And then in the last 20-15 minutes or so, if anybody wants to showcase what they have so far, then we can do that as well. All right. We can get back to it. Okay, and before I forget, I know I said that I would show you where to get a description of the Pokemon. And like I said, it's in a weird, kind of in a weird place. So I'll share my screen real quick and show. Okay. So let me zoom in. Why does everything fight with me? I don't. Okay. Hopefully everybody can see that okay? Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So it is in the Pokemon species endpoint. So, and it's also listed under flavor text entries. And they have different versions. So they base them off of the Pokemon game, I believe. Yeah, the Pokemon game is the version. And then each one has its own different one, and then they also have different languages. So here's an example. This one is red. This is Bulbasaur. And then you see it has this one, but then we also have a blue, which is this one's the same one. The yellow is where it has a different one. So you can pick the version that you want the description to be based on by default. But it's also possible if you want to go that far, you can even have it to where the version is selected. And then they also have, where is that? It in different languages. So Korean, French, not sure what that one is. But yeah, so you can see for the Pokestats is that's Strange Sea was Planet, which is the red, and then the yellow. You can go for days without eating a single morsel. So that's where you can get the descriptions. Not the best description in the world, but they're there. And I just wanted to show you that real quick. And then I will also post that. Oh, I've been messing up. Here we go.
Hey Derek, I got to drop, but I just want to say thanks for this great React module, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you, Jonathan. I really appreciate that. Yes.
Yeah.
I will see you on the next one. Enjoy your break.
All right. If anybody wants to get together probably in the next 2 weeks and just work on whatever the pre-work is, let me know.
Yeah, hit me up on Slack.
Me
Sure.
too, I'd be down.
All right. Maybe next Saturday.
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Yep. See ya.
All right. How's everybody doing so far? Any questions, issues, or anything like that?
For me, I'm still trying to catch my code up to yours. I'm getting a few errors. I'm trying to see where it is that I made a mistake.
Okay. Yeah, if you want, you can share your screen and we can go through it if you want.
Yeah, because I'm trying to see if it's my folder structure. Because I tried it this week, but I couldn't get my pages to load. Let me share my screen. It's gonna be a lot of errors. Here we go. Where's the share screen? Okay, here. Let me make it bigger. Oh, so much going on here. Okay.
Okay.
How do I make this look? How do I make this bigger? I don't see where to.
Let's see.
Anyway, is there a way? Let me stop sharing first and then see if I can expand.
Okay. No
Uh,
problem.
how do I make it full screen? No, no, no. Okay, yeah, I see it now. Okay, there we go. Where's the zoom? Share screen. Sure. Okay, there we go. So it says I have 9. Well, here it says I have many problems, but I don't know. I'm trying to see if everything is matching yours. That's what I've been.
Source components.
So I don't know about you, Derek, but when I'm looking there, I'm always gonna look at that terminal tab. I'm not gonna look at the problems tab.
The
I'm sorry,
terminal.
can you say that again, Brian?
Yeah, so the problems tab, I never look at that thing. I always look at the terminal.
Yeah, I usually look at the terminal or the console.
Yeah, it looks messy.
Yeah, just go to the very bottom of it.
Go all the way down.
Yep.
So that is the Pokey. Let's see, where's my code? Poke code.
Is at the very bottom.
Should I kill it and try it again?
Yeah, kill it, clear it, and try it again.
I think here is where it shows I have like maybe nine things going on. Okay. New terminal. Okay. Got me through the steps. I don't want to mess up.
Well,
Run.
let's see where it's airing out in the code where the
Okay.
red
It
lines
looks like
are.
it's my Poke Cards.
You say what?
My Poke Cards file.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where the actual line, because right now it's telling us exactly where the problem is in your code in that file.
So
So yeah, just hover over it.
okay. So we're at use effect.
Okay. Let me see. So the first one I noticed is that use effect is you have a period right there.
This one here.
So the comma.
And then this, oh, wait. I don't
Oh
know
no,
what,
you replace that period with a comma.
okay.
Yeah.
Wait, but it still makes it red.
Yeah, that was just the first issue. So we need to. So what are we missing? Oh, is there something above?
Yeah, that just close down your terminal for now. In the problems
Okay.
tab, just stay away from there because it's going to give
Okay.
you every single tiny little thing, which doesn't
Mhm.
really help very much because you got red in your code that we can look at.
So I know current page -1. It kind of, I don't know why that.
What is so there must be we must be missing something above possibly. Let me see. A closing tag. Nope.
So you need to put that comma back, line 33.
Okay.
Uh, um
Remember the use effect is going to have uh, that style, right? It's going to have
Yeah.
between the curly brackets will be the code that's going to get triggered, and then you'll have the comma
Mhm.
and then the dependency array after it.
and then for your where it says current with the current page -1, replace those curly brackets
Yeah.
with parentheses.
Oh. Okay. That cleared it. We're clear there. I guess
And then
next is
we're missing the opening curly bracket after the arrow on the second use effect.
here.
Yeah.
Page
So
35, yeah.
open it
Okay.
there and then close it. Okay, so just that. Okay. And then next is, I guess here I got a little messy.
-10.10. This is a use effect.
Excuse me. Uh-huh.
Scroll up a little bit so I can see the use effect.
Okay, use effect. Here?
Oh,
I
so
think your fetch, you just had, you were thinking it was a use effect, so it doesn't need that dependency array on it. On the end, on 49.
49. Here, we don't need this.
Yeah, get rid of the curly or the dependency array.
Oh, okay. So we
The
don't
array
need
bit,
that.
rid of that.
And the comma. And
The
probably,
comma.
oh yeah, probably both all that. Oh, wait, yeah.
Yep.
mhm.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Now that's clean. I guess might be the same thing here, this array. Let's see, the other times limit. Oh yeah, the limit didn't have that.
Yeah, get rid
Yeah,
of
you just
that.
have an extra parentheses there. So just after limit, get rid of
Yeah.
that parentheses on 52.
Oh, this one is a const. And then now here it's current page.
Is that supposed? You need the equals after value.
Value equals. Okay. And then I think here I have some issue with from array.from.
You're missing the curly bracket after page number on 66.
Give me 1
Page
second.
here.
No, on 66.
Oh,
On
66. 66. Oh yeah, here. Okay, that cleaned that up. I think I'm green now.
Yep.
It looks like I'm green.
Yeah, try to
Man.
run it. See.
Okay.
So
Okay,
did you type that
terminal.
all out?
During the week, yes, and then now I was copy pasting because I think mine wasn't doing. I try to like make the pages load up,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then I was like, okay, I was doing totally different things. open my cheat sheet over here. Hold up just a second.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Did we get it figured out?
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Is it npm run.dev?
Run dev. Yeah.
Run dev. Okay.
If we got run, you just put npm dev.
npm. Oh, okay. npm run
Run dev.
dev npm run dev. Oh, I have an error.
Do an ls.
ls pokey up.
Yeah, you need to go into your Poke app. Get in there.
Pokey app, main contact app.
No, in your server, in your terminal.
Oh, okay.
See when you did ls, scroll down.
ls and then cd.
So look, when you did ls, it just said Poke app
Yeah, it
Right.
just said pokey.
because you're not in that project. So you need to cd into that project. If you look at your folder structure, you can see that.
Pokey up here. So cd
Yeah, give
pokey
the-
up.
So open up your folder structure. Yeah, so see, like you need to be in that Poke app. Right now you're outside of that.
Uh-huh. Okay. So let's see.
Close up those node modules. Okay, so if you, so inside Poke app, you have your package JSON, right? See it at the bottom there?
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
Whenever you ls, you need to see that package JSON before you run npm anything.
Okay.
So you know you're in the right spot.
So let's see. I think now we're in, right?
So scroll down in your terminal.
All the way down. I'm down.
I'm doing ls.
Oh, okay. Now it's looking.
There you go. So you see you have a package JSON there.
Mm-hmm.
So now you know you're in the right spot. So now do npm. But
npm run dev. There we go. Okay. Oh man. Still looks messy.
yeah,
This is how it looked yesterday. Yeah, it's looking kind of the same.
Failed to resolve import from. So yeah, you usually get the failed to resolve import is usually something to do with the path.
Okay. Okay, let's go back. See my path. SRC components. SRC components. Zuki cards. SRC components PokeCard.jsx18. So problems. 18. So maybe it's my URL, Poke URL.
No, it's gonna be your import of the.
Oh, up
Oh.
here.
So go back to the browser.
Import use state.
See where it said import, and then it has the relative path or the
Mhm.
dot / Pokemon image.
Here,
So it's saying
okay,
that
yeah.
it's saying it can't find that file.
Oh, I don't have I guess I don't have an image file.
So from the
I should add an image file.
the
Let me
yeah,
see.
you should have that component, so it can't find that component.
Um, I was looking at find your GitHub so I can know what I'm doing. Hold up. To get no. Oh yeah, yeah. I think this is what I may not have. Okay. And it's on, where did he place it? On the components. Okay, so new file. Poke image CSX. Edit, rename Poke image dot JSX. Make sure it's Pokemon image. Pokemon image. Okay. I don't know what these are. Oh no, not LD. LS. CD.
So you have 3 servers running right now,
Okay.
at least open. Kill 2 of them, 'cause they're gonna overlap each other.
Mess. Okay. Okay. Now blank space. Oh man. Could it be this? Unknown rule at a plugin.
No, that's just a warning. Again, I would stay off the problems tab. It's just gonna cause you more problems.
Oh,
Just go back to your terminal and then let's go look at your browser console.
Mm-hmm.
It's hidden under the three dots next to debug console. There you go. You're good. Let's go back to the browser.
okay. Oh, okay. I killed it. Inspect.
Yep. You go to your console. Do something with your node modules. I'd kill your node modules folder and then do npm install again.
Okay. How do you kill it?
Just delete them.
Just-
Right click and delete.
Oh, all of it?
Yep.
Delete. Okay.
Yeah.
Start from
And then
here.
you got-
I can start.
Yeah. Kill that.
Command. Is it Command C?
C.
Command.
Yep. Or
There's a
control C. Sure.
Control C. There we go. Find my cheat sheet.
Just do npmi.
npm start. npm
Nope,
install.
nope. npm install. Yep.
npm.
Okay. Run it again.
np. Oh, ls. Oh, we are already in it, right? So np.
Yeah, you're already in it.
Run dev. My screen. Inspect.
Same thing. Look at your package JSON compared to the one in GitHub. See if you're
Okay.
missing something in there. Looks like it's React Router.
Oh, because your link isn't capitalized.
I don't know.
Which one?
And go
In
to
the bottom?
yeah, the Poke cards, I believe.
Not here, right? Not on this page.
Yeah, the Poke cards page, the component.
Okay. Modules, public, source, components. So that, so Pokey link. Card. Sorry, I didn't catch the code.
Hold up. Well, really? Okay, there it goes. So yeah, go to the Poke card. So the link where you're importing the link, it has to be capital. The
On line 2.
yes.
On Porky here, import link, the link, this link.
Yeah, on line 2. Yeah.
Yes.
So like L. Oh man, okay.
Yeah, capital L.
Let me pull up my terminal again. Should I try it? Just run it? Do you think it's, or kill it and start over?
You should be able to just update the portfolio and save it. I mean the link and save it.
Okay. Command S. Oh no, that was,
And then you might want to make sure that the link component where you're calling the link component itself is capitalized as well. Scroll
that will
down
be on.
and no in that file, yeah.
Uh, so much code. Huh.
Yeah, it should be in that return statement.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, it is capital. Yep. And
Okay.
it is capital here. Yep. So command click. Okay, I saw something, but it kind of disappeared. I saw it. Is it the color? Maybe it's the color, right?
Where use state is not defined. Pokemon image.
Okay.
So it sounds like you're using use state, you just didn't import it.
Go to the main.
No, it's on you stay in that on the Pokemon image file.
So import. Okay.
If you look at the error, like it said it was in this file. It'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let me find yours and take a look at it. Okay, I see. What did I do? I did something. I don't feel like what I did was right. Let's see. Let me command Z just in case. I don't see any errors, but I'm just gonna type it. Import. React.
And then while you do that, real quick, was anybody wanting to show their Poke app? What they've done so far?
Used it from React. Okay.
Nobody? Okay.
What did I do wrong? It's inside curlies. From that is small. Those are gonna kill me. From React, okay. Command save. Let me kill it. Where's my terminal? Okay. ls cd. Okay. There we go. Thank you.
Ooh.
Oh, they stay the same. Cool. Thank you.
All right. Well, glad
I
we
think
got that for you.
Yeah, I think React is there's so many different files or pages, or like you got the main JSX, you got the so many.
Yeah, there can be a lot, and I wouldn't say it's just specific to React. It's just there's gonna be any kind of framework and language that you use is gonna be quite a bit to it, but you just gotta it takes some getting used to,
Yeah.
and then it makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
All right. It looks like everybody else dropped so far. You have any questions?
No, that's it. I now I gotta go look up your code and see what it's actually doing. I gotta figure that out.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And then I did once the recording post, then you should be able to um watch the beginning of the class because I went through it at the beginning of the class as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
Of
Thanks,
course.
Brian.
Yeah, no worries. Just remember, stay off the problems tab. Don't mess with that.
Yeah.
Terminal, browser console. Those are where we live.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
Okay, bye.
All right.
All right.
All
Well,
right.
you made it.
Well, we made it.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
for the stuff.
Virtual is hard because like you can't see them. You don't know.
Yeah, especially when you plan for in person. I guess I should be ready for it. Some backups. Cause
Yeah.
but
Well,
yeah.
good to go. So I told Emily that you did this module. And do you know Anna?
And I believe so.
Okay. She's like the part-time bookkeeping or whatever kind of person, but she reached out to me and was like, hey, just want to make sure, you know, you taught this, whatever. So if you don't get paid in a relatively quick manner, then she'd be the one to reach out to.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. I actually forgot I got paid for this for a minute.
Oh,
So
I mean, nice little bump.
yeah, I'm not gonna complain about that.
Heck no.
All right. Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, great job.
I appreciate that. Yeah. And then I will I'm gonna try to have the pre-work to them by Monday, and then also lesson plan for next for you on Monday if you need that as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I like you're gonna do the portfolio thing. I think that'll be good.
You say what? I'm sorry.
I like that portfolio idea. I think that's good.
Oh yeah. Get it. Yeah. I'm go. Well, I'm glad because then I'm glad about that. It was kind of last minute, but I was thinking about it and I was like, you know what? I had problems getting started on my portfolio, so I figured I might as well at least get them started.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian. I definitely appreciate it.
Yep. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.